an official decision isolated
What's up, guys? Welcome to MBW Live, the movie explorer. So, all three of you, again, if you happen to watch my first video, my first live stream on the Halloween fan film I made, this is still a learning experience for me. I had major difficulties with a new setup I was trying to use, camera and whatnot, and that's why I'm almost an hour late. Not that it matters, because like I mentioned in the previous one, if you happen to watch that, I'm assuming not very many people will be actually watching this live, and hopefully they find it later. And then, yeah, obviously that continues to build. So, yeah, I didn't really let anybody down, but except for myself. So, the last episode was really just a test, so I won't even say that's my first one. That was zero. That was ground zero, episode 0. So this is my first episode, my real episode, and we're talking about Alien Romulus. And what the problem with Alien Romulus is, if you don't know what Alien Romulus is, I don't know why you're watching this video. It's another film on the Alien franchise called Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez. And I don't know the details other than the director. I know, the gist of it in my head, but yeah, not off the top of it. So, and I didn't write that down, so I literally have to look it up right now to give you more information about that. But essentially, it's a not really a prequel, not a sequel. It's just kind of an in-between film that fits into the major timeline. And when I first saw it, it was, I liked it. I think I was kind of blinded by the, just because I've been so let down by, Alien Covenant, especially. Not Prometheus. I'm a rare person, or I think it's gained a better following now, but when it first came out, I was a rare person who actually really loved that movie. I have 41 minutes talking about how much I loved it and all the great things and the not so great things about it, which you can find on my channel, and it'll be linked here also. So let's just cut to the chase. What is the problem with Alien Romulus? Well, there's one major problem with it. And let's just take a look, shall we? I'm about to show you something in a moment, and you'll see. Oh, that's great. A lot of the things. Oh. Wow. All right. Here we go. More technical difficulties. I guess I can't show you. Let's 1 second. Oh, why is that not playing? That's awesome. There we go. Something in the background. I apologize again. Literally what I was going to show you did not work. I tell you, I'm good at this. I'm good at this live streaming thing. Oh my god. You know, I thought I had ironed out a lot of this stuff, but no, I didn't. Oh my god. I think Google knows what happened and they're just messing with me. Oh my god. Wow. The whole crux of this live stream. I can't even do it. This is great. Okay. Now I'm getting somewhere. Alright, you ready? You ready for the main problem? Oh, I just noticed you could totally see part of my screen anyway, so that's cool. Here we go. You see that? You see something wrong with that picture? This is my main... There's actually a lot of story reasons, but this is one thing that really bugged me about it. So that's a Ian Holm. He's not alive anymore. If you didn't know that, he was a fantastic actor. He played the android in the original Alien, and they brought him back in Alien Romulus as a different character that just looked the same, or different android, whatever you want to call it. And of course, even though they created a, which I'll show you pictures of, I do have some of those, a really great, oh my god. I promise, if you are watching this or you come across this in the future, I'm going to be more dialed in. Why did they do that? Why is there a deep fake on top of his face? I watched, or listened, whatever you want to call it, to an interview with the director, and he mentioned that they built this really awesome animatronic practical effect of his likeness. And I've seen it. I'll show you a picture of it. It looks great. Nothing wrong with it. And he mentioned, oh yeah, we animated the lips and the eyes. No, you replaced the whole face with a CGI face, which totally ruins it. It was the most distracting part of that movie was that. Anytime he was on screen, his just deep faked CGI face just looked, granted, this film didn't have all the money in the world, but still, it just looked terrible. Especially when there's a perfect excuse, because not only is this character an android, so he's not human, he doesn't technically have to be a perfect, resemblance of a human. He's damaged. Half of his body's chopped off. He's got his android goo all over himself. What would be so bad about just keeping it as a practical effect, even if it's, you know, kind of robotic eye movements and the mouth is, you know, whatever. It's an android that's cut in half. It's like not fully functioning. What's bad about that? Why is that not acceptable to the audience? That's more acceptable to the audience. This is very distracting because you can instantly tell, okay, that's a CGI deepfake Ian Holm who's dead. And way more distracting than if it was a really well-made animatronic, which they already had. So why did they do that? I have a feeling it wasn't exactly the director. It was studio interference, just like with the Thing prequel sequel that came out. Same kind of thing happened with that. They built these awesome practical effects that were going to be enhanced with CGI, certain elements of it, and they completely redid everything with CGI on top of it, and it looked terrible. Which was a criminal mistake. The fact that, you know, having a robotic moving animatronic, he's a robot. That's what he is. He's not even, you know, in tip-top shape. He's malfunctioning and who knows what else. It was perfect. And they also covered up the artist who made its work with a CGI face, which he will claim that it was just the eyes and the lips, and no, it was not. So that was my main issue with it. You know what? I'll admit it, first seeing it, it's just because it's like, oh wow, they brought him back to play it. Or, you know, not him, but his likeness. But then once that initial shot goes off, very distracting. Hated it. And he's in that movie a lot. He should get Ian Holm deepfake top billing on that poster because he's in that movie a lot once he gets on screen. Yeah. Oh yeah, let me show you what I was talking about here. Look at this. You see that? You see how good that looks? That looks better than that. Look at that. It has more detail on the face. I mean, granted, these are low resolution, you know, pictures, but I could tell right away it has more detail on it. It looks awesome. What the fuck? God, that shit is frustrating. And you know what? Again, to my reasoning, they already did that in Alien 3. Obviously, they didn't have the technology CGI at that level. You can very apparently see that with the CGI shots of the alien in that movie. But they had Bishop, you know, all messed up in the crash. Animatronic. Worked perfectly because he's an android. He's not supposed to be human. He's totally fucked up. He's malfunctioning. It's believable. Even though deep down you know, okay, this is an animatronic puppet. Look at that. Here's another one. At any time in that movie, I mean, man, that's got its own share of problems in that movie, but you're not like, oh, that's his animatronic Lance Henriksen. It's an android. He is what he is. An animatronic is basically an android that's less sophisticated. What was so wrong with that? Nothing. Okay, that's my rant. That's literally the main point of this video, is just because I wanted to say that. Because it hasn't been said clear enough. And look at this. This is something else I wanted to share. For the longest time, I did not know. I mean, they put it in there perfectly. It's a mix, actually, but there's like one of the shots of the scene. It might be this one. I'm pretty sure it is this one. That's not actually Lance Henriksen. That's a dummy. but because of the grip and his expression, the fact that he's an android, I always thought that was Lance Henriksen with, you know, the floor, the body and the floor trick. Nope, that's a dummy. And that looks freaking great. Also, just another example of there was no issue with this. No issue with that. What's so wrong with it? Nothing. So what else? Oh wait, here we go. Here's another one. Close detail shot. Obviously they weren't finished with it. It doesn't have a hair and they're working on, or maybe this is a prototype because the eyes are different. Look at the detail. Looks fucking awesome. Okay. Enough of that rant. So, what else do I have to say? Just now saw that. Oh, fine. Hello, Cole. And that is why I laughed, because I just saw your comment, and I'm still figuring this shit out. So I've got the chat open. Look at this. There I am. Even if you were blind, you would know that that looks like fucking shit. You can just... you feel it. Is that CGI on the screen? You can fucking feel it. You would know, okay? Yeah, and that's another thing. They spent money, extra money, to do that for no fucking reason. And I guarantee it was... I don't think it was the director saying we need to do that. Or maybe he did say, you know, just the lips and the eyes. And then somebody else was like, nope, do the whole fucking face. Because it's 80s and it doesn't... Fuck off. Or the studio. Yeah, we're gonna get you on here, Cole. Don't you worry. And you too can talk to an audience of 4 people. It'll change. It'll get there. Maybe. Hopefully. Till then, Mom, thanks for watching. So, what else about Alien Romulus? It's one of those frustrating things because there's stuff I actually like, the kind of the shoehorned. Yeah, I'm glad I could do that for you, buddy. I love you too. Yeah, and anybody that joins in or finds us later and you see this Cole Gray guy talking in the chat, funniest motherfucker you'll ever watch, meet, talk to, whatever, all of the above. And you'll see, because he'll be on the show. Cole Gray Comedy. Search that on Instagram, YouTube, wherever you want to. You'll find it, and you won't regret it. We'll definitely feature that, too, on this, because it deserves that. And we'll watch him. Because I do that anyway, so why not share it with you guys on a live stream? Watch party. Cole Gray Comedy. And I basically do what I'm doing now with Cole all the time. Just talk about movies. Literally had a phone call about this very thing a couple days ago, or weeks ago, whatever. Why not live stream it? So, Alien Romulus. The story. I don't like how it focused on... I mean, I get why they did it, but I don't like it because I guess I'm looking at it from the Prometheus angle, where I want something from that franchise, that because we had it in Alien and Aliens, we had the there's no profound thing. There's just this alien species that's out there that is if one of those gets loose in a colony, Earth, you're fucked pretty much. It's literally the perfect organism. Oh my god, I need mental help or pills to make me stop losing my train of thought here. So I want something more profound in the series now, because Alien and Aliens, they perfectly did it, at that level where you don't know much about it, and it's just you're focused on this group of characters, and you don't know literally anything about the aliens. And then as you go into Prometheus, obviously it's not directly related at first, it's the origin story, but you don't know that. And that gets into the more profound territory with, who created us, we're meeting our creators and all that. It's a biological weapon, and they wanted to destroy us, and we'll never know why, because, again, I have a 41-minute video talking about it. Toxic fandom ruined it, and we'll never know why. Instead, we get Alien Shit Covenant. So that's what I want from the franchise now. You don't get that. You actually get a little taste of that because they connect it to Prometheus at the end. This is spoilers, by the way. Go watch the movie if you haven't already. It's not my fault. The black goo makes an appearance in the film, essentially. They, through experimenting, somehow extracted it from the aliens, and they want to use that to extend human life and turn them into superhumans, essentially. That could never go wrong. And because of that, a character in the film takes it while they're pregnant, and they give birth to this weird Prometheus engineered alien hybrid thing, which I actually thought was really cool. I'm sure some people thought that it was random or whatever. But anyway, that's kind of literally just shoehorned into the film just to connect it. That's what it feels like. It's not a major part of the story at all. Which, the story's not about that, I get it, but I almost didn't want that to be in it at all, because that's what it feels like, that it's just shoehorned in there to connect it to the franchise. Which that's what makes it frustrating, is because that's what I actually want. I want that more profound, someone who knows what they're talking about. They're aware of this. They're intelligent. And we get a group of young people in their early 20s, I'm assuming, or, 18, 19 to 25 range. They're miners on a planet. They want to get out of there. And, of course, something answers their prayers, and there's a magical ship right above the planet that nobody else, for some reason, knows about or does anything about. Only them. And they remote pilot this ship, and they take it, and they go up there, and nobody from the company or the planet, I'm sure they have, some kind of, military force, police force with radar sensors, somebody from the company that I'm sure has more technology and equipment than these group of young people. But no, they don't ever see it or do anything about it. It's just this these group of young miners, whatever. Because of that, of course, they're not very smart. They're smarter than the people in Prometheus for the most part, but that's not hard to do. But again, it's just not it's not satisfying. I do think it was interesting the choice of the Andy android, where he's damaged and he's kind of slow because of it. Or he seems like he's mentally challenged, but he's just an android who's kind of malfunctioning and upgrading his data disk or whatever, and then which is also kind of suspension of disbelief. If, this whole universe with spaceships and aliens wasn't enough, he puts it in his thing, and that repairs it. All of his issues, they're just repaired, including his, motors, and I don't know. But that part was cool. But again, that's just kind of frustrating that it's these group of young people that Um, what is the way to say that? They're aloof, or I don't know, ignorant. They don't know what the ship is. It's a science vessel that, of course, has like every... Or no. Don't let me forget this little tidbit. It has the original alien. The one that was, blown out of the space hole and just in space. They find that somehow. And, yeah, he's essentially the android version of mentally challenged. They should have just did the full thing where he's... no. Maybe I shouldn't go there, but... That would be a good parody to do the late 90s, early 2000s, high school. You know what I'm talking about. There would be the group of guys that do that kind of shit. I totally never did that ever. But yeah. Yeah, you should, because space hole is a beautiful term, and it's not said enough, so I always got to keep like stuff like that alive. And Austin, it's been a while, man. I'm glad that you found this and you're watching. Making me forget what I'm talking about. Austin, space hole. So yeah, not satisfying, and I will admit there's a cool sequence with the alien, acid blood, and zero gravity, which surprisingly wasn't done, in any other film. So that was a good idea. And it's just, it's that kind of dumb stuff like that, like, these group of miners, they're the ones that find the ship and nobody else. It just doesn't make sense, especially the lengths that this company goes to get these, friggin' facehuggers. Literally at the expense of everything. They will drop everything, kill anybody, whatever, never give up. If you look at the franchise, the span of time that they're after this thing, and they never fully get it, to accept that they have this prime science vessel with all their experiments, they extract the black goo and they're nowhere to be found. There's no teams looking for it. They're not contacting every fucking colony. Hey, you see this ship out there? It's supposed to be headed your way. Nothing. That stuff. That stuff's very frustrating. Oh, 30 minutes in. Look at that. Hold on here. Let me pull up my notes. My brain's not working. They shouldn't have done it. Oh. It's not horrible. It's worth watching for sure. Because it is well made. It's just, I guess per usual story shit that's annoying, frustrating even, and just dumb production or editing, post-production choices like the deep fake and what am I talking? It's terrible. You should still watch it though. Yeah, that's another thing. It really did feel like. And this has been mentioned before, if you watch anything else on this, other people will mention it. It felt like a studio-funded fan film. If you were... Which, that segues into my next point. They did tons of fan service and Easter eggs and that kind of stuff. Which is cool, I understand that. I like to do that kind of stuff too, especially if you were, you had the reins of this. I would want to, shove all kinds of shit in there. Some of it was just really distracting though. That's why it really felt like a fan film in that regard, because it was Actually, and the fact that it was kind of like a space filler, not really moving the franchise forward, but it lived in like a gray area that fits in between, kind of like how some fan films can do. But there's so many references and Easter eggs and things like that. But the one that was really distracting, which is man, I wish I could. This is another thing with live streaming. I'm not even sure how showing clips works, trailers, copyrighted stuff. I've heard that they literally will just interrupt the stream until you remove it, or, they could just cancel it altogether, which is frustrating because I would love to show some of this stuff and have it ready beforehand. But the reason I'm doing live streaming is just because at the current time, it's just the best way for me to get this kind of stuff out there. But so there's a moment. I'm sure you know the line. It's probably the most famous. It's been in those commercials. I don't even remember which companies do it. You'll see them at the Super Bowl. They'll bring back like an iconic movie team or whatever. Could be Marty McFly and Doc Brown, and it's just a commercial and they bring it back. They've done this moment with that. The moment I'm talking about is get away from her, you. I know you know what I'm talking about there. Get away from her, you bitch. It's a pretty iconic line. Sigourney Weaver says it to the alien queen in the spacesuit loader. In Alien Romulus, it's a black dude, not that the race matters. That's just what he is. Or a black android, I guess. Androids have... I don't know. He's a... I'll just put it this way. He's a guy who's an android. He resembles a male human who's an android. Let me get PC here. Who happens to have a dark complexion skin. He says the line. And of course, there could have been... I don't even like that the fact that they did that. Not not the gender swap thing. It's just that was the most on the nose reference. They could have done it and it would have felt better, smoother. The way they chose to do it was literally he has the machine gun, the weapon, whatever. The music kind of goes quiet and it's a close up on him. He says, "Get away from her." Pause. "You bitch." Literally like that. I don't know why they chose to do it that way. I literally laughed when it happened. Not in a good way. I don't know if they thought that was like... I don't know. Funny, cool, or they were expecting people to go, "Yeah!" It was just... That was the most terrible one for me. That's a fan film for you right there. Just a terrible moment that they didn't really think through. It's not bad that he's black. I just... it's part of the description of the character, right? That's the complexion of the fake android skin. It's black. Put her in charge. Yeah. God, I love that. So, let's not get started on aliens here, because I can do that. I can do that many more hours, but you're welcome. That's the thing. Like, speaking of that line in that movie, it just makes you want to watch that instead of these new ones, because I want to see that in its true form, not in like some fan service, terribly remade way. I know one thing I can speak on is the character. the character, the lead character. Ooh, let me make sure I get this right. Again, I didn't prepare properly. Oh my god. I kind of just want to let this go and have you guys in the chat just keep going. Screw what I'm talking about here. Kaylee Spaney, the lead actress. Of course, they have some moments that are more fan service. Like the moment where Ripley, Sigourney Weaver, comes out of the elevator with the machine gun and the flamethrower duct tape thing. And that awesome, like, slow shot as she's going in there. They redo that with Kaylee Spaney. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, it kind of highlights the fact that there's something special about Sigourney Weaver. That more and more it's evident that it's apparently a very rare quality. Basically, she's someone that, I guess it's, you may not think so. I think she's very attractive. I mean, she's like, what, 70-something now. I'm talking about in her heyday. She's a great actress, but she's also believably strong, I guess I would say. She's masculine and feminine at the same time, and like a great combination. To the point where if she's doing something, if you know, a fight scene, or if she's a leader, if she's in the situation, you believe it. You don't question it. Like, for example, in Alien Romulus, it's not the same exact setup, but you just don't. You know, they try to do that stuff to, like, okay, this is our Ripley, but you can't. There is no our Ripley. Like, there's one Ripley, and so many of these things try to do that. Ridley Scott tried to do that in Prometheus, although I do like Noomi Rapace and her character. She's not a Ripley, but actually he got damn close with that. I will say that. Yeah, they just can't do it. So it's almost cringe when they try to do that, and they literally put her in the same position, similar shot. It was kind of fan service, or it was fan service, but also for the thread of the movie, she's supposed to be, you know, the Ripley type character. Of course, she's not believable in that. Yeah, death by snoo snoo, for sure. Ah, you're killing me. You're really killing me. Futurama. I love that episode. Yeah, so that was another frustrating thing about that film. And the fact that they're trying to push that, but it's not going to work. Overall, the characters just aren't interesting, whether that was intentional or not. You look at a movie like Alien, and I think even more so Aliens, all the characters, every single one of them, are interesting. Even the ones that you don't really know, you know, they're not on screen for a long time. They only have a couple lines. Like every single one of the Marines. Obviously, you know, the big, you know, Bill Paxton's character. It's not like there's, you know, it was just Sigourney Weaver and one other person. Like every single character was interesting. In terms of all the Marines, you were invested in them. You know, you were entertained by them. You wanted to keep watching them. You watch a movie like Alien Romulus, you don't give a shit about any of those people. Like, if anything, you're like, all right, there's too many of these. Get rid of some of these motherfuckers. I don't know what that is, honestly. Like, movies are just not as magical, and I don't know. You know, lightning in a bottle, and the lightning's fucking 20% left in that bottle, if that. I don't. It's hard to say exactly what that is. Obviously, there's a lot. You know, it's our current society. It's not helping it, but it does, in the fact Alien Romulus does explain about the mythology, just because it links to Prometheus. It like I mentioned before, they kind of reverse engineer the DNA to extract the black goo from Prometheus, essentially, and they're trying to like use that to extend human life and turn them into like superhumans, kind of. So, but it's not about that at all. Like, these characters, you know, they came here to get fuel or whatever to go to some other planet just to retire, essentially. And that's just on the ship. And it's kind of thrown in there. But that's, again, I would rather have that be like the focus of the film, and like that's the key. And in this movie, it's not the key. It's just thrown in there at the end. And I mean, that's the most interesting concept in the film, is that, and then, you know, it's just thrown in there. It doesn't explain Prometheus Cole, but it's just connected in the sense that on this science festival they reverse engineer the DNA of the alien that they had to the black goo stage, like in Prometheus, and then they want to use that to as like a, you know, a serum to make humans better. And as the character, the android character with Ian Holmes' likeness, who what is his name? Deep Fake Face, that's what I'm gonna call him. Rook. He kind of mentions, of course, in like the evil exposition dump, this is what we're going to do. He basically says that humankind is weak, and which is true, and they weren't meant to last. These other species, like the engineers and the xenomorphs, they're higher life forms. They're the perfect organism, and that's what they were engineered to do, is to, you know, survive and keep. You kill them, and acid blood will kill you or burn through the ship or whatever, and keep destroying. So, but that's the interesting part to me, is that not these miners who are supposed to, you know, relate to Gen Z or whatever the fuck, and are trying to make it a better life for themselves. Mainly because, like, the stuff they say and what, it's just not interesting. It's they're just not interesting characters. And like, there's a way to do that, to have, you know, ordinary people get thrust in this situation, but just the way that it was executed wasn't satisfying, I guess. Actually, the perfect kind of mirror to that is Alien, because that movie, there are, you know, flight officers, science officers, and stuff like that, but that crew is essentially just like a, you know, a blue collar working mining crew or whatever, and they get thrust in a situation in the same kind of way. But like, those characters are more interesting, they're more believable, you care more about them. So that can work. It has worked, but it didn't work in Alien Romulus. It's oh shit. It's just frustrating, man. You just wish you could be there, like, when they're talking about these ideas, just so you could help shape it. I don't know. I think AI did write that. They just needed better motivations, and honestly the actors have a huge part, because if you imagine, like, again, Sigourney Weaver, Ripley, that was, was that character perfect for her, or was she perfect for that character? The actor has so much to do with that. You can write a great character, and then if the wrong person plays it, it just doesn't work. So, casting, and I think a big part of that, honestly, is it's the generations, these younger generations. They're just not. They don't got it. They don't have it. There's something getting lost in translation as we're getting older. These young actors, man, they're ruining it. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes as you watch me just stare into the abyss. Here's a thing. What do you guys want to talk about? I know this is an Alien Romulus video, but fuck that. Well, honestly, I talked about... Yeah, Rob Zombie knows what's up. I talked about, honestly, the main things that are the problem with Alien Romulus. Those are basically the main problems, because it is well made. Practical effects were awesome when they weren't replaced by fucking CGI that looked terrible. And there was some good ideas in it. But it's just another frustrating experience. But it's better than Alien Covenant. Not a high bar, but I can say that. Aside from that, I do want to mention that... what would I do with the Alien series? Not touch it and just admire it and its perfection in Alien 1 and 2? I mean, it was the studio wanting another Alien film, and a director, I get it, being wanting to be that person to make it, and did bring some good ideas to it, wanted to do a lot of practicals, but for some reason, again, not with Ian Holmes' face. But yeah, of course, mainly it's the studio wanting another sequel, and they're the least caring people about, the integrity of it. More of, how well can we polish this turd? Because we got to make some money, bro. Polish it. That's what they care about. But honestly, the fan service, I'm a fan. Those moments happened. I'm not gonna lie and say it. I scoffed at all of them. I did enjoy it, except for the way on the nose one that I mentioned. But it honestly would be better to take all that away, because the great fitting a story into the franchise but not continuing it. It's not like a bad idea. It's more of what they chose to focus on that was the bad part of it, and some of the choices. But what I would do, honestly, Ripley's such a huge part of it. I would rather have seen Alien 5, which, if you know anything about that was in the works before Alien Covenant. And Neil Blomkamp, I think, was like developing it, and he was going to bring back or basically retcon Alien 3 and bring back Hicks, Sigourney Weaver, I think Newt, maybe Bishop, I don't know. And like there was, badass renderings of like Hicks with the burned fucking acid face, and They should have done that. Like, I would actually love to see that, a continuation. I think it's too late now because they're just too damn old, but that would have been an awesome thing. Honestly, that probably would have been the best choice. That's what I would wanted to do, would be to continue that story. Because she's like the perfect vessel for that, because she has experience with it. She's intelligent. She's strong. Like, I would want to see her, you know, trying to push back against the company and stopping them from continuing to do this. Because obviously nothing good has come out of it. Yeah, it is. I love the music. Honestly, I could just sit here and listen to this music. It makes me feel like I know what I'm talking about. Honestly, that was a good question. You're putting me on the spot. What I would do, I would love to have that story continued. As far as an original idea, I don't even know. Honestly, Prometheus, I want to see that continued. To go in that vein, that's what I would want to have done. Explore more with the engineers, and that would probably be my number one. Oh, and I'm just Cole and Austin. You guys remember each other, right? I'm just making sure because I haven't fully been paying attention. I don't know if that was acknowledged or if you... Yeah, there you go. Well, we miss you, man. You killed our series, by the way, because once you left, we're like, we're not going to do it again. Austin's not here. Thanks for that. Too cold there? I think I'm moving to you, because that's what I want, buddy. I sometimes forget we actually fucking did that. I can't believe we did that, honestly. For that. Makes it so much funnier to me. What I did want to say with this show going forward, for all of you who are joined, will find this, whatever, going forward. If you've watched anything on this channel, the one piece of content I would recommend would be the exploration I did on Prometheus. It's kind of what I turned this channel into, is exploring movies. And that's the best example of it that I've done so far. And right now, it takes a lot of work to do that. I shoot an opening skit in the beginning, and then just all the editing, splicing the content, like the footage in there. That's the format I'd really like doing that. Obviously, I can't do that in a live stream. But I'm doing this because I haven't been able to do that. But I still want to talk about movies, and I think I can at least bring something different to this environment, live streaming. And I'm hoping I can, once I do this more, I can maybe start doing those, at least the opening skit again, whatever the film is, play that in the beginning, and then go into the live stream where I talk about the film. I think that would be really cool. That's not really done. That hasn't, as far as I can tell. And I'll still be able to do that more and quicker than I can the other format, even though I like that even better. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this. And mainly doing that, but also occasionally talking about other things. I'll bring people on, like Cole, Austin. You're welcome too. We can talk about, I don't know, whatever movie you want to talk about. And I well, I can talk about projects I'm working on. Maybe share some behind the scenes stuff like that. But mainly, I'll be doing live movie explorations like this one, much more organized, and I won't be late. And I'll stop saying and. So it's only going to get better. So anyone who's watching at this early stage, appreciate it, because it's going to get, and you won't be disappointed. Oh my God, I just said it again. And you won't be disappointed going forward. It's going to get even better. So, and almost did it again. What else did I want to say? Yeah, it is. Which is why they have like AI editing features to literally automatically cut that out, and which, by the way, I don't know if I'll do it in these early stages, but eventually I'm going to start uploading these as podcasts also. Although most people, actually, I don't know how most people do it. I feel like they do the podcast first and then upload the video later. I want to do it the opposite. I want to do the live stream first and upload the podcast later. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's what I'd want to do. And I'm going to cut out all those and does and ums. What I could do, though, also because of YouTube and copyright strikes, and I've had to battle that with Prometheus and other ones I've done, is the copyright strikes or content ID claims and the copyright strikes. That's a problem with YouTube in general, and that's how I like to do those. It's just the best way to do it, and they get automatically tagged, or for some reason they don't want. That's something that promotes the content, so I don't know why they would be against that. But a way I could do that in the future without having to worry about that is to start something like a Patreon or whatever and put it on there. That way I don't have to worry about it affecting the channel or whatever. It's not like I'm making money from it anyway right now, but in the future I could just make a version like that and just do something like Patreon, where basically you have to pay for it to see that. And something I like about the live stream, this format, is it's more I'm talking to you guys and whoever else is a part of it, and that's awesome. And it's something that doing it in this format versus this typical talking head review or the reaction videos, which are just, I hate those in general, especially when which you got to start from somewhere, but from a small channel it's just kind of cringe, because it's like, why do I care what your reaction is and who are you? It makes more sense if you're already established or famous. But how are you going to get there if you don't do that content? It's chicken or the egg. But I don't want to do stuff like that. I actually think the live format is cool. It's limiting because I can only show so much on here. I can't chop up clips, and I really don't know if I can show a trailer. I feel like it depends on the trailer, but I don't want to be messing with that. Back to the fan film I made. I don't like it. I don't like dealing with copyright stuff. So, expect this show, if you want to call it, going forward. MBW Live presents The Movie Explorer. I'm going to be talking live, hopefully with some guests, occasionally, about movies. Going to be exploring them, talking about them. Both new ones, mostly old, I think. Hopefully I can throw in some kind of skit at the beginning. And we're going to do this thing. What would I give Alien movie scores out of 10? Well, 10 out of 10 Aliens. 11 out of 10. Whatever's higher than 10. I just think that's the perfect... It's it's the perfect sequel, it's the perfect sci-fi, it's the perfect horror, it's perfect action. It does all those well. All of them well. to the point where it's hard to say, oh yeah, it's I mean, I guess you could say sci-fi, but it's, you can't clearly say that's a horror film. It's an action film. It's because it does them all so well. It's like, well, is it? Because it's also really good in this area. Alien would be 9. I don't even care about the other ones. Fucking the producer's cut of Alien 6, maybe, or Alien 3, maybe a 6. Theatrical 4. Alien Resurrection. I kind of like it because it's terrible and weird, so 5. AVP, I actually kind of like. I haven't watched it in forever, actually. 5 or 6. Never saw Requiem, seen clips of it. I'll give it a shot, but what I saw was not good, and the reviews are even worse, so. Prometheus. 9. Just because I can't overlook the flaws that movie has, but I just love so much about it. Covenant, fucking negative 1,000. Fuck that movie. Alien Romulus. 5.5. I don't know, when I say that though, and everything I've said, it's still worth watching. Like, I'd want to watch it at least one more time. And I probably would watch it, you know, if I was watching TV and it came on, I might watch it. I don't even remember what I just gave Alien 3. I think a 5 or 6. No, I said the producer's cut, because there is no director's cut, would be a 6. Because I actually like it because it's so almost a different film. Like, it feels like a different film with like an alien in it. The theatrical was terrible, probably a 4. Well, if you're using the IMDB average score, then that changes it a little bit, because, you know, an 8 on IMDB is really a 10. That's like a fucking impossible to be in the 8s. 5.5 is more like a 6, 7 out of 10 for normal scales. Well, I about said all I wanted to say about Alien Romulus, and a little bit about what to expect in the future. So I think that's going to be about it for tonight. I do want to say, though, that I kind of haphazardly scheduled another live stream for tomorrow on Halloween, because I just figured it was a perfect time to explore Halloween 1978. That's going to be at 4 p.m., assuming I don't fuck it up and I'm late again. And that's going to be a special one, because I made a Halloween fan film called Mask of Evil. It's live now. It's got 10,000 views-ish. Go watch it if you haven't already. I really wanted to do Halloween as my next movie exploration, but I just wasn't able to get to it, so next best thing, now that I have this path going forward, is do a live exploration of it tomorrow on Halloween. I was thinking maybe I could somehow shoot like a little skit for that, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Love you too, buddy. You're going to be on here one day. Don't you worry. I promise you. You'll make it to this level of getting 5 viewers. Hey, that's actually not bad for an hour. Yeah, dude. This actually was a really nice surprise that you clicked on this and you were part of the live stream. I actually really appreciate that. And it's been too long, man. Miss you. I hate goodbyes. All right. I'm gonna have to do the little. Good. You better. Hey, speaking of that, I don't know if you. I'm gonna text you actually, and I'll send you the link. I don't know if I've talked to you since I made that fan film. All right, I gotta call it quits. Thank you for everyone who watched, who tuned in to MBW Live, the Movie Explorer. Let me know if I should change that. It's kind of long. Might just call it MBW Live or the Movie Explorer, or maybe both. Tune in tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Halloween, and much more after that. All right. I don't have a closing yet, so goodbye. Thank you. Bye-bye. You're still watching, but I already said bye. Thank you. That's awesome.